All right, man. We got Fay-Wolfe with top 10 worst hit songs of 2023. We all know Fay-Wolfe, one of the GOATs. Got me some Cherry Freeze Prime. I actually haven't tried this. Let's see. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, we'll do it. Damn, odd ass.
In 2023, Warner Brothers shelved a fully completed film based on one of their biggest mascot IPs, refusing to release it because they thought that writing it off as a $30 million tax deduction would be more profitable than putting it out into the world. When the people who worked on the movie tried to share some of what they did for their resumes and demo reels, they were copyright struck and threatened with legal action. This was one of the first things WB did after a nationwide strike of writers, artists, and actors lobbying for protection against exploitation through corporate chicanery and the looming specter of AI.
What is this guy talking about?
One of the only media companies bigger and more powerful than Warner Brothers said, and I quote, "We're gonna starve them out until they have to sell their apartments." We're at a crossroads right now. Artists and creators have to stick up for each other and watch each other's backs. We really ought to be creating an atmosphere of camaraderie and support. And the last thing we need right now is some petulant jackass to look at art that creators poured their heart and soul into and found popular and financial success with, only to say, "Wow, that sucked. You're really bad at this." And to that, I say, fuck you, Bob Iger, and hee-haw, motherfuckers. Let's do this.
Alright, bet.
It's a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea, but I still wanna party. Fuck it, it's fine.
He said too many big words for me. How many licks does it take? What? Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Me? That's not Fay-Wolfe. $50 Oh, this guy a little boss. Raycon, what the fuck? Oh yeah, they're gay. And the mid! Oh, the mid! Oh my goodness! He finally put the mid in. Let's go. The mid! Oh my goodness. No, she's the mid. What are you talking about? It's hella copyright, buddy. Damn.
Hey guys,
Did Sean make that?
Studios here, and for those
If he
of you
did,
who are new
then
to the channel,
goddamn.
welcome. I'm the guy who makes countdown formatted video essays where I discuss popular music from the past and present, doing things like ranking all the #1 hits of the 2000s,
Yep.
discussing giant British hits Americans have never heard of, and
Yepers.
making top 10 best and worst songs of the year lists
Yeah,
for
man.
dozens of years reaching as far back as the 1960s. On top of that, at the end of every year, I join a whole glut of other people, many of whom are friends of mine, to make videos counting down the top 10 best and worst songs of the year that just finished. I typically try to turn these these year-end videos into huge, extravagant spectacles where I put on the biggest show that I can. But this year, I've decided to reel things in a bit. I've been absolutely buried with grad school work over the past few months, and literally the first weekend I had after I finished all that work, I got my ass kicked by COVID, which I'm still recovering from. So this year, I'm not doing anything big besides that intro bit. No cameos, no stunts, just a guy sitting on his couch talking about pop
Let's
music.
go.
I'm not gonna lie though, even if I had all the time in the world, I don't think I'd be making a big fuss over the pop music of 2023.
Pretty mid.
Typically when I discuss a year of music in one of these videos, I try to find some kind of narrative through line to explain why the popular music scene was the way it was during that year. But for 2023, I got nothing. I mean, I guess I can't really be surprised by that. Last year I declared that 2022 was the year that pop music died. So can I really be shocked by what the following year gave me? Man, I'm sorry, this corpse is just not doing anything interesting today. Yeah, this turned out
All
to
my
be an
life.
opportune year for me to pack up all my shit and move to the other side of the country and subsequently pay a lot less attention to pop music. And that's not because nothing interesting was happening in the music world, quite the opposite in fact. No, it was because I knew that none of the interesting things happening were going to lead to anything bigger because nobody has any idea what pop music even is right now. I truly do believe that 2022 marked the end of the pandemic era of music. TikTok is no longer the hot new tastemaker launching indie artists past industry gatekeepers into the stratosphere. We live in a post-ABCDEFU world where TikTok has been fully assimilated into the pop music engine, and now everyone's just in a free-for-all trying to figure out what the next hot sound is going to be.
Oh, I mean, I feel like there's still some indie people being kicked by TikTok. Obviously, a lot of them now are just industry plants, like, you know, ABCDEFU, like just like people who already have connections into the industry. But I feel like there's still like a small amount of people, indie people who aren't very popular yet, underground people, still being, you know, kicked up to popularity due to TikTok. There's still something there.
Turbulent period
I feel like
all the time throughout music history. After the breakup of the Beatles in the 70s, after the death of disco in the 80s, after everyone got sick of MTV in the 90s, when the biggest trends of music come to a screeching halt, and everyone is like, okay, so what the hell are we gonna do now? These periods of uncertainty have always caused pop music to become a sloppy goop of turgid comfort and familiarity with a few bizarre micro trends sprinkled around on top of it. And if you look at the pop music of 2023, that is exactly what you see. Songs from more than a decade ago getting huge airplay, trap music getting outcharted by folk singers, the biggest radio hit of the year being sung half in Nigerian patois and somehow not feeling remotely unusual or out of place, the entire top 40 being filled with Mexican corridos for like 3 months, and country music hitting #1 on the Hot 100 for the first time in decades because it's the only genre that's a real established institution right now, while everything else is just a bunch of segmented fire fests which make a splash and then immediately get torn down. The music scene this year was like watching a car crash in slow motion, with a whole bunch of interesting moving parts you can focus on that still amount to an overall picture of total chaos. And yet, while I know the chaos isn't going to amount to anything long-term in terms of trends, in terms of quality, all of this somehow amounted to one of the most balanced years of pop music I can remember. 2023 had a good number of really amazing big hits, a good number of ungodly awful big hits, and a perfectly healthy amount of mid to balance everything out. I'll be
mid, yeah, it's mid
hits over the next couple months, but today we're going to be taking a look at the absolute
mid
that our nation decided to reward with popular success. Keep in mind, I'm not going into this just looking for bad songs to shit on. I'm looking to shit on enormously popular bad songs. The songs eligible for this video are anything that made Billboard's list of the 100 biggest songs of the year, anything that made the year-end top 100 of Lydia Valentino's more streaming-driven V30 chart, or anything that hit the top 20 on the radio. I'm aware that the Billboard charts are getting less and less relevant to the actual tides of popular taste with each passing year. However, the following remains true. Whatever songs you were listening to, millions more people were listening to the songs on this list. We're going to be looking at a finely curated platter of garbage today, ranging from the lame to the annoying to the genuinely offensive. So all I ask you to do is to please keep an open mind and really consider what music we consider bad and why. If you had asked people 15 years ago what the worst songs of all time were, two of the first answers you likely would have gotten were Barbie Girl by Aqua and Blue Dabba Dee by Eiffel 65.
They both got sampled.
So stupid and annoying. How could anyone possibly like them, right? Yeah. Anyway, in 2023, 1993, both Barbie Girl and Blue Dabba were sampled and basically
Yep.
both of them became smash hits far more
Ah, damn,
successful
bro.
than the
Baby
original
Record
were in
Man.
their time, and neither of them will be appearing on this worst list, a choice
Oh, okay.
I doubt most people will have a problem with. The times they are a-changin'. So let's take a look at the times when the white toast landed buttered side down as we dive into...
I said the white toast
the top
buttered.
10
What?
worst hit songs of 2023. Number 1 is Jason Aldean.
Alright.
Yeah,
That was quick.
This year. No point trying to build it up. Anyone who knew this song existed going in saw this coming. This is the worst hit song of the year, and anyone who says otherwise is simply incorrect. You want to argue that this doesn't count as a real hit? You're wrong. This song debuted at number 2 on the Hot 100, and the week after that, it went to number 1. America dipped their toes into the water, and we liked how it felt. It hit the top 10 of the streaming charts, it dominated the sales charts, and it received widespread radio play. For a few weeks in August of 2023, the most popular song in the United States was an actual, literal lynching anthem.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road.
If you think it's not a lynching anthem, you don't know the definition of the word. Lynch, for a mob to kill someone for an alleged offense without a legal trial. This is a song where Jason Aldean says that if you do something he and his conservative buddies don't like, they are going to round up a posse and extrajudicially murder you. As well as the Clinton administration, lynch mobs didn't like where people of color existing. Don't worry though, 25 years ago is the past. I'm sure all the conservatives forming lynch mobs are much less racist these days.
Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't
Look,
take
man.
long for you.
Look. I get it. The song is racist and it's bad, but it kind of goes hard though. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this song is all terrible just because it's racist. I mean, that is a very valid point. I mean, like, just generally speaking, this is a terrible song. Obviously, because it's a fucking racist song, right? Personally, I think it goes a little hard. I wouldn't listen to it. Obviously, look at me. But like, do you get what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a sucker for, you know, these more. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't even defend it really. I can't. Obviously, I can't defend it. I mean, like, but like, it's not hard on the ears. It's not hard on the ears. Like, I could just listen to this regularly. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, turn this off or something. Like, I don't. It's a fine listen, but the deeper you get, the worse it gets.
Oh, but that's just a vague warning.
As
He's
a
not
song.
actually threatening to kill you. Yeah, he is.
Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up.
I have a gun, they'll never take it from me, and if you piss me off, fuck the system, I'm coming after you. Oh wow, I guess anyone Jason Aldean might not like for whatever reason better get out of this town. Thanks to him and his buddies, this doesn't seem like a safe place to be at night. Hell, it might even be fitting to call it a sundown town, perhaps.
Try that in a small town full of good old boys. Raised up right.
Oh yeah, look at me, I'm Jason Aldean. I'm such a big, strong man who doesn't take shit from anyone.
If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town.
I am just salivating for the chance to be a good guy with a gun.
I said
Especially when I'm the guy who gets to decide
salivating.
what good is. Never mind that when someone actually goes to do harm in a small town, the so-called good guys with guns are more than happy to stand around and let down the innocent people they're supposed to protect. Now, ignore all that shit. Jason Aldean is the one who knows what a real man is.
He's the GOAT.
That shit might fly in the city. Good luck.
Yeah, and a real man is someone who knows how to stand his ground and protect his castle without ever leaving it. I mean, after all, those big cities are so scary because that's where the liberals let all the big, scary criminals run wild. So, yeah, fuck that noise. He's just gonna hunker down in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, building a fort of bluster and machismo that will never be put to the test. Like a child building a fort of pillows that he knows dad isn't gonna be able to knock down no matter how hard he tries. If you think that Jason Aldean is what a real man is supposed to look like, well, all I could say is I hope you're having a fun life, scowling at your phone every time you remember President Brandon exists, being too chicken shit to travel more than 10 miles away from home, being the best damn keyboard warrior you can to really make a difference as your days slowly tick away. Keep yelling into the void about how day by day you're losing the world of lazy comfort you once had, the world that never challenged the way you think. Keep being petrified of change, building up straw men of anyone who calls you out, and soaking in the cheers of your echo chamber as you knock them all down like bowling pins. Have fun role-playing as a badass vigilante who murders...
God damn, Sean, bro. He's low-key cooking. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's cooking.
Washed-up, doughy grifter who's such a good, respectable Christian man that his last big hit before this was about how he doesn't miss his ex-wife or kids after he dumped them for a woman 10 years ago. That's you, Jason Aldean. All I can say is keep on trying to be that boy where your soul shines. Because at the rate you're going, I don't think God's going to be too merciful when the time comes to judge what he finds.
Damn! Oh my... Bro, chill. Wait, this guy literally just absolutely barbecued him. Wait, what?
Try That in a Small Town by Jason Aldean.
That was a barbecue.
In fact, this song is so far removed from the realm of any other song on this list that, you know what? This isn't even number 1 on the list.
Okay.
This is number 0 on the list. Try That in a Small Town by
No, I'm glad. I think this is like what a lot of lists should do. If this song is your number 1, just exclude it because it's such a predictable number 1. It's such an easy choice too. Like it makes sense.
Hit song of 2023. Yeah, that feels right. Man, it's good to get that off my chest. I've been holding that one in for a while now, as you can probably imagine. But hold up, I know what you're probably thinking. Wait a second. Wasn't there another right-wing country song that everyone couldn't stop talking about this summer? Didn't that one also hit number 1 on the chart?
It wasn't as bad as
and wasn't everyone also
the other
talking
one
about how that was one of the worst songs of the year? Shouldn't that one be tied with...
Actually, you know what? I actually think this is worse. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know there's a lot of... I don't even care. I don't even care about the political ideologies of this fucking song. This song just sounds like shit. It's literally a guy with a shit voice, shit beard, shit hair. Okay, no, that's a little mean. I'm sorry. It's literally a song of a guy with his guitar, and then this guy singing at like the top of his lungs with no graciousness, no nothing. This guy's just yelling into the mic about his problems. For me, this is worse than Try That in a Small Town, because Try That in a Small Town, like, I can at least, as a song, I can at least listen to that and not have my ears bleed. This is worse. This song, I feel like this song is worse.
Well, no, because you see, that one is actually the number 10 worst hit song of the year.
Rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all
Like, bro, this guy literally has voice cracks in the song. Like, what?
The song that probably made a lot of you click on this video, the world-famous Fudge Round song, is number 10 on the worst list, which I'm sure is going to be a surprise to pretty much everyone, honestly. A lot of you are going to be shocked this isn't tied with Jason Aldean at the top spot. A smaller, but still substantial number.
Personally, okay, so as a song, I think this is worse than the Jason Aldean song. As a spectacle, this is not as bad as the Jason Aldean song.
Of you are probably
that's at least my perspective.
Why do I think that it is bad, but only barely bad enough to make the list at all? Well, you see, here's the thing. I really don't like doing what I just did to Jason Aldean in that last segment too often. I got pretty fucking serious during that segment because that was the tone that a song like that requires, but I wish I didn't have to. I always try to keep things as upbeat and fun as possible on this channel. I prefer to make shitty music by making fun of it, not verbally assassinating the guy who made it. Rich Men North of Richmond is a song that I have a solid 3 pages written about, almost all of which is very serious, analytical, and to the point with hardly any levity at all. And quite frankly, I'm afraid that making you watch all that immediately after the Jason Aldean rant will not only grind this video's pacing to a halt, but also scare away pretty much any new viewers from this channel forever. And so, what we're going to do now is we are going to take this screaming beard child and just put a pin in him for now. We're going to skip this song for now, and I'm going to go through numbers 9 through 6 on the worst list. And then we're going to save
this guy is just doing random numbers. All right, bet.
Format this video. It's just like Oliver Anthony's face. A bunch of wacky, silly shit in the middle, and a big problem we have to have a serious talk about on both ends.
It's like poetry.
Oh, you know, if he says it, I'm allowed to say, okay.
It does.
I'm allowed to say it. Never mind.
Now and take a look at.
When I wake up in my own pink world, I get up out of bed and wave to my homegirls. Hey, Bobby. Hey. Why so stressed? Could it be those irrepressible thoughts of death?
About a month ago, Harvard University announced that they would be offering an elective course analyzing the legacy of Taylor Swift. I replied to that announcement saying that, duh, Taylor Swift is the biggest musical phenomenon since Michael Jackson, and it makes complete sense to study that phenomenon academically. This prompted a lot of outrage.
Studying mid is
saying that
insane.
It was blasphemous for me to even mention Taylor in the same sentence as MJ. Guys, when Taylor Swift flew to Brazil for the Eras Tour, the city of Rio lit up the Christ the Redeemer statue with a welcome message so that Taylor would see it as she flew in on her private
They're a
jet.
bunch of fucking simps, though. That's the difference. They're a bunch of simps, bro.
One of the biggest countries in the world, a country where most people don't speak English, heard that Taylor Swift was flying in for a concert and said, oh shit.
Oh my god. It's just, bro. Like, just thinking about it, like, gets me mad. Like, bro, okay. If you're gonna do all that, at least do it for an artist that isn't mid, bro. Oh my goodness.
Sure Jesus is ready for her. Y'all, it's time to stop pretending. Taylor Swift is as big as Michael Jackson. She is as big as Madonna. She is as big as the Beatles. I'm not saying she's as influential as they are, but she is definitely on their level in terms of popularity. I feel like a critic is always sticking their neck out whenever they put a currently popular artist on the same level
I disagree.
as legends of pop culture, but I don't feel like I'm sticking out my neck here because it's just demonstrably correct. In the 2020s, everyone has their own little algorithm-curated media ecosystem, which has made it nearly impossible to have generation-defining superstars like those from the more monocultured media of the 20th century. But Taylor Swift managed to bypass all this segmentation to become a truly universal force. There have been exactly 2 weeks in history where the top 10 songs on Billboard's charts were entirely made by women, and they were the weeks Taylor dropped her last 2 albums and took up every spot by herself. Every time a major world event happens, it's not uncommon for people to wonder, gee, I wonder what Taylor Swift thought about that. And whenever she emerges from her castle
Okay,
to comment on
if you
anything,
actually think of that, you're actually a number one glazer. I'm not kidding. Genuinely, who actually asked that?
every spot by herself.
Come
Every time a major
on.
world event happens, it's not uncommon for people to wonder, gee, I wonder what Taylor Swift thought about that. And
No, okay, you have to be a number one D1 Taylor Swift glazer to be thinking, bro. Oh, oh my God, the fucking Facebook went down for 10 seconds. I wonder what Taylor Swift, like,
And whenever
who is
she emerges
actually
from her
thinking
castle to
that?
make a comment on anything, it becomes national news. 1989 TV is becoming the fastest-selling album of the 21st century, and it is a remaster. Other modern artists may be more artistically influential or even beloved, but no one else in the past 30
Drake, please! Drake, please, we need you. Drake, no, Drake, please. Please. Our glorious king, Drake, please. We need you to come. Just do something, bro. Drake, please. Stop fooling around and making songs with Yeet, okay? We need you to actually... It's over, Drake. I'm sorry. Ugh. Guys, what can we do? We need to make a plan to stop Taylor Swift.
years,
We need to make a plan.
Sheer, radiant, gravity-bending heights of pure,
Bro.
indisputable, zeitgeist-warping death grip on the public imagination like Taylor Swift. And the most fascinating thing is that she did it not by playing to trends, not by leading a whole bunch of
But
other
by
artists
being
in her
mid,
wake,
bro.
but by being an insular, neurotic weirdo who just happens to be exceptionally good at putting the inner monologue of a white millennial woman to paper in an engaging way. Whether she's reflecting on her relationship with others, telling cool stories she came up with, or even just reflecting on the anxieties of being the biggest entertainer alive, Taylor Swift's voice as an artist is truly unique, something that no one else is capable of replicating, and that most people aren't dumb enough to try to rip off. Most people.
I'm picking out this dress, trying on these shoes, 'cause I'll be single soon.
Random ass. What? Random ass song to choose. What? Why this one? This song is mid. It's not. I don't think it's that bad. Personally, I think Karma is worse than this song. Wait, actually. I think they're on the same level, actually. Karma featuring Ice Spice. Okay, not the original Karma. The original Karma, it's fine. But the one with Ice Spice, that's way, not way worse. It's just a little worse than this. But I mean, this is pretty mid.
In hindsight, it's genuinely amazing how much mileage Selena Gomez has been able to get out of her singing career. She comes from the same generation of pop girls as Taylor.
I'd rather have Selena Gomez be Taylor Swift level. At least, like,
debuted on
she's
the
more like
at the same time, though Selena has actually been in the entertainment
she's
business
better
a lot
to
longer
look
than
at.
Taylor, hashtag Barney legend for life. At this point, Selena is a seasoned veteran of pop music. Speaking in pure numbers, she's the most successful pop star that the Disney Corporation has ever produced, which is amazing because as an artist, her voice has always been pitifully weak.
I'm so sick of that same old love.
That's
Throughout
true.
the past 15 years, Selena Gomez has been the go-to voice when you just need a female voice on a pop song, a tool to be plugged into the production kit of whatever engineers of pop radio the industry rotated in that year. There have been a few times where she's tried to step up and make artistic statements with her music, but at the end of the day, Selena Gomez is the woman who got the most liked photo on Instagram with a glamour shot advertising Coca-Cola, and that is exactly what her music sounds like. With that being said,
That makes
if there
sense.
was ever a year Selena could have broken out of that mold, it was 2023. Selena's remix
Yeah.
of the Afrobeats hit Calm Down by Rema was the biggest radio song of the year, and that was the first time in 15 years that I thought a song was actually improved by Selena's presence on it.
Got you so high that you
Yep.
can't come down.
Bro, Selena Gomez, man.
Ask you know you're allowed.
The role of the girl in that song required a veneer of shy passiveness masking an intense, fiery smolder just waiting to be unleashed. And not only did Selena play that part well, I can't think of anyone else who could have played it better. This was the role Selena had been waiting for all these years. It deservedly became her biggest hit of all time, and then she followed it up by completely ignoring that success.
Yeah.
I'ma take who I wanna, stay out late if I wanna.
I mean, that's all this is. Selena and her new boyfriend, Benny Blanco, saw Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff completely break the music world in half with Midnights, and so they figured that the quickest way to build some actual hype around Selena's flaccid pop career was to just create something that sounds like Bejeweled and Lavender Haze got chewed up and regurgitated. The drums feel like they're spitting in your ear, the entire thing sounds like it's being run through a weird electric toothbrush filter. Never before has a Selena Gomez song sounded less like music and more like just a bunch of waveforms on a graph. Meanwhile, Selena's trying oh so desperately hard to bury what little unique voice she has and mimic Taylor's smirky, cheeky cadence instead.
Time to find another one, blame it on feeling young.
Not a bad impression, I'll give her that. She definitely sounds like a dedicated student who doesn't really care about what she's studying, but really does want to get an A+ so she has an extra tassel on her graduation cap. But I'm sorry, any attempt to make a Taylor Swift song by someone who is not Taylor Swift is just automatic.
Is this a Taylor Swift
Taylor
song?
songs work because she is a storyteller, a bard of her own legacy, who, whether she's telling her own stories, inventing them from full cloth, or just commenting on something more generic, always lets you feel like you're reading intimate diary entries from the most interesting times in the life of a captivating writer. And I'm sorry, but if there is any singer in the world who does not have the right to that level of main character syndrome, it's Selena Gomez. Especially when it turns out that the shit Selena's writing in her diary is kinda shitty and immature.
Should I do it on the phone? Should I leave a little note in the pocket of his coat?
Yeah, that's the other thing about this song, the thing that pushed it over the edge and onto the list. The lyrics are just really not cool. She just goes on and on about how this guy is gonna be a miserable crying mess when she cuts it off with him, how she's gonna tell him she's leaving by maybe leaving a text message, or leaving a note in his coat pocket so she doesn't have to observe it directly. Don't get it twisted, she is well aware of how much this is gonna hurt him.
Maybe I'll just disappear. I don't wanna see a tear, and the weekend's almost here. I know he'll be a mess when I break the news, but I'll be single.
Wait, low key, he's actually making a point. Wait, she's actually being a dick on this song. Wait a minute. Wait, I just realized. Wait, he's actually right. Like, looking at it, like, she's literally being like a dick.
She sings it like she's getting a kick out of how
Yeah, wait, what?
after she springs
Wait a
his
minute,
life
hold on.
him.
I
Oh,
never
well,
thought about it
guy
this
must
way.
have been a real piece of shit, right? Nope.
And I give a reason why. Oh well, we both had a lot of fun. Time to find another one. Blame it on feeling young.
This guy showed her
What?
an absolutely wonderful time. She's just leaving because she's bored of this toy and wants a new one. And she's gonna intentionally break the guy's heart, run away, and imagine him crying over her because that's just one more level of amusement for her. I mean, hey, what can I say? She's just high maintenance.
I know I'm a little high maintenance, but I'm worth a try.
It will not surprise you to hear that 4 out of the 5 writers of this song were men. But what might surprise you is that the one woman who wrote this song was not Selena Gomez. So what we have here is a group of people who thought the key to replicating the success of a Taylor Swift song was to have the woman singing have zero creative input on her words. Instead, leaving the task of writing to a bunch of men vomiting up nasty Valley Girl stereotypes while leaving the carry to a copy of Taylor's production that they got about 30% right. You never really appreciate what the A-listers are doing right till you hear the wannabes fuck it up, do you?
I'll be single soon.
Well, who's next?
Oh god, she really looking at me, bro. Like,
Why so
bro.
Could it be those irrepressible
Jesus.
thoughts of death?
Look, the late TikTok era has seen a whole bunch of developments that make pop music feel just a whole lot cheaper and less artful and a whole lot less fun to talk about and analyze. So I'm not gonna lie, it's almost a little bit comforting to still see solid representation from the shitty TikTok hack that started it all.
What did I just say earlier? I said this song was a little. I guess he was listening, bro. This guy's listening. He's literally like he's live listening. Okay. All right. You know, I actually fucking agree with this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ooh, I actually agree with this. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. He's actually kind of cooking. Oh my god. Okay. So Die For You was an okay. It was very okay. It was an okay Starboy track. I didn't really care for it that much. But when the announcement came out, it was gonna get remixed by Ariana Grande. I was a little bit surprised. I was like, okay. I mean, I knew they were gonna do something to get it to the top, but I didn't expect Ariana Grande to come on it. And then when I actually listened to it, I was like, what the actual fuck is this? I don't think she sounded good on the track really at all. And then they just leave her like in the middle of the song. She's not even like on the end of the song. She was on one of the choruses, and then on the next chorus after that, she's not even on it. Her presence on the song is terrible. She literally, I don't like her existence on the song makes it worse, but it's not really even her fault either. This song, the remix is more of a disappointment, and that's why it's worse than the actual song. That's my opinion. Like wasted potential. I feel like that's why it's worse for me.
Yep, that's right. We're in 2023 and remix gaming is still here and as strong as ever. You know, you got a song that's doing pretty well on the charts, but then you wake up one day and you realize, man, I really like money, but I wish that I had more of it than I do right now. Well then, slap a new featured artist onto that song for a remix, giving the song an artificial boost to its numbers and a whole new lease on life, regardless of whether the new vocalist you've added fits well at all. You know what Doja Cat's beautiful cooing seduction anthem Say So needed? Nicki Minaj to kill the beat and brag about how she lied about being bisexual for clout. You know what Savage Love by Jason Derulo needed? BTS to pop in and steal even more clout away from the kid Jason stole the beat from. You know what the newly repopularized Die For You by The Weeknd needed? Ariana Grande to step in and have no clue what the fuck she's doing for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what Taylor Swift's anthem about inner peace, balance, and karma needed? Grah.
I'm finding ways to stay concentrated on what I gotta do.
Now, these two remixes may be on the list for fundamentally the same reason, but the actual specifics of why I dislike both of them is actually quite different between them. Of the two of them, Karma is the one that I'm less mad about, so let's start with that one. To be honest, I don't even know if I would call this remix bad as a full product per se, but a large part of that is probably because over the course of 2023, the original Karma has evolved into one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs.
Yeah, this song is better than Cruel Summer.
The glittering sequence synths used throughout this whole project. It just sounds fantastic overall. But even more than that, I love what a monumental stepping stone this is in Taylor's journey and how well she captured it. Do y'all remember the last time that Taylor sung about karma?
The world moves on another day. Another
Ooh,
trauma.
wait a minute.
Not for me, not for me. All I think about is karma.
Yeah, it was not good. Taylor Swift had basically collapsed into an insecure puddle of goo by 2017. She was a wet cat flailing out in all directions, thinking she had to counter the accusations being made against her at the time by going on the offensive. But now, half a decade later, she's balanced out and matured.
I keep my side of the street clean.
I was honestly kind of terrified when I saw there was a song on the album called Karma, only to be smacked across the face when the song turned out to be about how Taylor had learned that if she truly believed she was in the right, the best course of action was to ignore the haters and keep doing her thing, all expressed through some of the most endearing lyricism of her entire career. It was an extremely gratifying moment of self-actualization for Taylor, and honestly, it's made me proud of how far she's come as a strong, independent individual. And
Okay.
what does the remix add to this?
Karma is that girl, like.
Do y'all remember the Cinnamon Challenge?
Karma is your checks by the bounce. Karma is a fire in your house.
You know, that thing where everyone
Ew.
took cinnamon and shoved it straight into their
Nasty.
mouth, thinking, oh, it's just cinnamon, I eat this stuff all the time, it'll be easy. Only to find themselves completely overpowered, sent straight into coughing fits, with some of them coming close to fucking dying. Yeah. As it turns out, sometimes even a little bit of spice is way too much.
So I keep my head up, my bread up, I won't let up. Never. Promise that you'll never endeavor with none lesser. Ever, ever.
This is embarrassing. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor and Spice knew this was embarrassing, and just let it happen anyway as a joke. Ice Spice was the viral breakout star of 2023,
Yep.
so I guess if anyone is going to have a feature on a remix from the biggest album of the year, it's going to be her. That makes sense. You know, if you've literally never listened to nor heard of either of these two women in your life.
Lamborghini wrong when I hop at the truck. Pretty bitch like Lauren with a big ass butt, yup.
Ice Spice's whole thing is that she's a laid-back goofball, so
Whoa,
Gen Z
ma'am.
only gets cooler the less she tries.
Whoa,
In order to get literally
man.
anyone to duet with the most insular, overthinky, try-hard pop megastar of all time. But Ice Spice clashes with Taylor's energy so hard she makes Taylor's song with Future sound like goddamn Sonny and Cher.
That song was actually fire, bro. No. Endgame is actually pretty fire. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Good artist. She had to know
Endgame is better than Cruel Summer.
nothing about this remix was working. So, like I said, I imagine she and
I'm-
Ice Spice would
it- you-
snicker when
I'm
they
spitting
decided they
facts.
were making
I'm
this,
spitting
just laughing
facts.
the whole time, but they couldn't believe this was actually happening. I mean, the only other explanation is that Taylor Swift invited Ice Spice onto her album to save face after her boyfriend Matt Healy caught a whole bunch of headlines for making racist jokes about Ice Spice. But really, what are the odds of that?
Find a ways to articulate the feeling I'm going through.
And then we have Die For You featuring Ariana Grande. And right off the bat, I just have to say that unlike the Karma remix, this one was not dead on arrival. I mean, after all, Ariana
Right,
hopped
yeah.
on the remix of Save Your Tears from After Hours, and that remix was one of the biggest and best hits of the decade so far. I heard
Right.
so many people try to compare the two remixes and say they were basically just the same thing, which boggled my mind.
What? Are you dumb? That's just a terrible
Because
fucking
to me,
take.
the Die For You remix fails in all the ways that Save Your Tears succeeded. First of all, the original Die For You is an ancient song. It literally came out before I started my channel. I know not all of you follow music that closely, so if you missed this little tidbit, Die For You was a flopped single off of Starboy from 2017.
Right,
It
yeah.
gained a massive second wind of popularity through TikTok in late 2022, which led to this remix. The fact that this song is being remixed 7 years later does some weird things to it.
And you know I can't take it now or never.
For starters, Ariana Grande and The Weeknd are two of the most dynamic and ever-evolving out of all the active pop megastars. They are both vastly different artists now than they were 7 years ago, and so hearing 2017 Abel collaborating with 2023 Ariana just hits the ear weird. It's hard to put your finger on it, but you can just tell something is off about it. It's like watching that scene from Back to the Future where Marty's mom is hitting on him. It's just yuck. More concretely though, this song is mixed like total ass. This This is just conjecture, but I honestly think the original stems for Die For You got lost at some point since the release of Starboy. This song does not sound like the Save Your Tears remix where they went in and rearranged the instrumentals to form a cohesive new version of the song. It sounded like they had a single audio track where Abel was singing and a single audio track where he wasn't, and they just had to work with it. They just had to find a way to squeeze Ari into what was already there, and they did not do that well. I mean, listen to this. You have the first chorus, all completely the same, the Weeknd solo with nothing changed whatsoever, and then the exact second that the chorus hits,
I can't walk away.
this is all just so graceless. It's so clear that nobody wanted to put another singer onto this song. They literally just had her sing along the exact same melody without even an attempt at harmonization. Hell, the vocals are so crunchy and compressed that a lot of the time you can barely even tell there are two different people singing. So Ari has to do all these obnoxiously flamboyant vocal runs like she's a teenager trying to show off singing the national anthem.
I would die for you. Baby, I would die for you.
It's not like her solo verse is any better either. Her attempts to play with the melody are dull as dishwater.
Yeah.
She really isn't that comfortable with this style of staccato singing. And the few times she is able to bring a bit of legato in, she just sounds like a possessed radiator.
I know you do.
Like,
Multiple
what?
people have gone on record and said that Ariana Grande is a wizard with Pro Tools, so I refuse to believe that this was her best effort.
A
This entire
wizard
thing
with
speaks of an
Pro
unpolished,
Tools.
half-finished effort
What?
made in a huge hurry to get a remix out while the song was still trending. Most
Yep.
of the time when a remix doesn't work, I'm happy to just dismiss it and go back to enjoying the original. But this remix is unique in the fact that the more I listen to it, the more I realize that I really don't like the original Die For You all that much either. The more I
Me-
studied
bro,
it and tried
me
to
too.
figure out what
I
Ari
could-
was going
it's
for,
just
the more
okay.
the slow, pounding, monotonous beat and wailing siren of the chorus dug into my brain to the point where now Die For You might have been a worse list candidate even without this remix. The
Damn.
circumstances around these two songs may be different, but they have one thing in common. Neither of these songs was built to be remixed. Karma is a song
Yep.
about personal growth and legacy by a woman who repels her collaborators like oil and water, and Die For You is an intimate declaration of heart-aching passion that would take a fundamental reworking to make sense as a duet. But then again,
Right.
I don't even know why I'm bothering to point out the specifics here, because frankly, no one cares. Neither of these remixes were made to be good or coherent because they weren't made for the sake of art. These remixes are the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl of pop music. A pair of bare
You know what also should have been here? The Kill Bill remix. That Doja Cat remix. No. That Doja Cat remix was actually so mid. I think everyone has actually forgotten about it. The Doja Cat Kill Bill remix. I remember everyone being hyped up for it, and then it debuted high, and then it just immediately sank down. That remix was hella mid. Hella mid.
bones,
That was
capital
not
P
a good
product.
remix.
Extremely
I would say
lackluster
that's
remix
worse.
capitalizing on
That's
name
probably
recognition
that
and
remix was
nostalgia
probably
only
worse than the
barely
Die For You
adequately
remix.
fulfill their functions, meant to fill a release schedule, make some quick cash, and then disappear.
Karma's gonna hold you down.
Alright, we're a good ways into this video, and you're still here, which I have to assume means that you like what I'm doing here, at least a little bit. So if you could do me a favor and leave
4
a
quarters.
like, as well
Oh,
as
never mind.
subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications of new uploads, that would be just wonderful.
No, I already
know
did
these
all
like
that.
and subscribe reminders are annoying, but as it turns out, they actually work. So yeah, sorry. But yeah, the more interaction I get, the more likely YouTube is to share these videos with me. So if you can just take a few seconds to leave those interactions, and
Guys.
think of a few comments you want to leave when the video is done, then awesome. I would really appreciate
Go
that.
subscribe
Hey, Bobby. Hey.
to
Why so
Sean Fay-Wolfe.
Could it be those irrepressible thoughts of death?
Look, I'll be straightforward with you guys. This next one is on the list because I never want to see this man on the pop charts again as long as I
Morgan Wallen.
as long as I live.
Wait, what?
This next one is on the list because I never want to see this man on the pop charts again as long as I live.
Really? This song goes hard. Okay, it doesn't go
And to
hard,
be
but
honest, it looks like I'm probably going to get my wish. One of the most notable things that's happened over the last few years of pop music is that the new generation of hitmakers has well and truly started to claim their stake, while the holdover artists from the 2010s who are still around have started a slow but inevitable creep towards their ultimate fate as nostalgic legacy acts. Looking at the list of the biggest artists of the year, it's filled with hitmakers who weren't big hitmakers when I started my channel in 2017, who were either brand new or started out as genre stars who are just now... When it comes to the big big hitmakers of the 2010s, most of them who are still here are big the way Bon Jovi was big in the 90s. Still selling out arenas and having giant hits, but clearly relics of an era that's quickly...
Oh, can we please get a Post Malone comeback, man? Oh, please. Please, man. I know, Post, just make Hollywood's Bleeding again, please. Please, please. Oh, please, Posty. Oh, please, come on, man. He had a little bit of a tough year. We can't lie, you know. He kind of got... He got a little fucked on by Travis Scott, but... Can we get a Hollywood's Bleeding Post? Stop. No, do not make a country album. Please do not make it. Genuinely, because I saw him talk about that too. You're Post Malone. I mean, do whatever you want. Obviously, do whatever makes you happy. Don't make a country album, please. I genuinely do not want that. Oh my goodness.
Sean era still in peak relevance, or Drake and Taylor, of course. But if he wanted to, I think Ed Sheeran could easily join those two. Sheeran is still far and away the most followed artist on Spotify. His album from 2021 did killer numbers and had 2 enormous smashes on both streaming and the radio. He easily could have had one of the biggest albums of 2023 if he wanted to, but he didn't want to.
Work and get burned out.
Yes, just like was prophesized by the titles, Ed Sheeran added to his fan base, then multiplied his fan base, then divided his fan base, then kept his fan base the same, and now, inevitably, it is time to lose his fan base. Sheeran's first album, Subtract, was basically his folklore, turning down the shiny, market-approved radio pop in favor of a spare, stripped-back folk record, even going so far as to recruit the same guy who produced Folklore, Aaron Dessner of The National. The obvious difference, of course, is that Taylor Swift, no matter how much you strip her back, is still Taylor Swift. She's got a voice like no other, and no matter what she does, she is impossible to stay away from. Hell, this is literally the 3rd entry in a row I've talked about her in. Sheeran's entire appeal is that he's a silly little folk guy making fun, polished, radio-friendly pop songs. And when you take him out of that niche, he's just another folk singer.
More that I love,
Right.
less that I feel.
I'm not saying he's bad at it, the album was pretty solid for what it was, but it was always going to be a commercial disappointment, and oh, it was, at least in America, becoming the number 169 album of 2023, below such blockbuster smashes as Pitbull's greatest hits, Donato by Ivan Cornejo, and the goddamn Moana soundtrack. Whether it be of his own choosing, the shifting tides, or perhaps some combination of both, there's a very good chance that Sheeran's curtains may be closing in America. And to that, I can only say, good.
Just dancing with my eyes closed.
And he also had another album. Everyone forgets about that. He also had another album. No videos, no nothing. And he literally, I think he released it on his own label, or was it just an independent release? That album did nothing as well. I didn't even see anything about that album
I am done
after
with
it came
Ed Sheeran
out.
being here. I am done with the radio constantly blasting out all of his blandest, most absolutely mediocre songs. I've got no beef with Ed Sheeran as an artist, but Ed Sheeran as a cultural phenomenon has ground down my patience to the bone, and Eyes Closed is the exemplar of why that is.
So
I keep dancing with my... Well, this goes hard. Come on, bro. It's a little bop. It's a little bop.
Dancing on My Own for Louis Capaldi fans, and it's the worst attempt to
Whoa,
recreate that
hey.
Love Somebody by Maroon 5.
Hey. Don't disrespect Love Somebody by Maroon 5. Wait, hold on. What'd he say? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Mom approved. This is just Dancing on My Own for Louis Capaldi fans, and it's the worst attempt to recreate that song since Love Somebody by Maroon 5.
Love Somebody is fire. No. Don't disrespect Maroon 5.
Got plenty of mom-approved bounciness, but none of the passionate desperation that a song like this needs.
Bro, Love Somebody by Maroon 5 is actually underrated. Underrated, bro. That song is actually underrated.
Or like a butterfly trapped in a spider web, sad, hopeless, plucky in acceptance of its self-defeat. It's bouncing around not because it's aiming to accomplish anything, but because it has nothing else to do. There's no satisfaction or catharsis to be found in a single note, and the sheer, overwhelming, paralyzing intensity with which I don't want to listen to this is astonishing. It is the lamest thing I have ever heard from this
Damn.
Which is astonishing considering this is the Shape of You guy.
I guess I could just pretend the colors are more than blue, but I lost more than my friend. I can't help but missing you.
The lyrics of Eyes Closed are just sad song, the sad song. It's just as lyrically inane as Perfect, but with none of the heart. For God's sake, I wish he would let out with something as iconic as Fill Up Your Purse at This Buffet and My Bedsheets Smell Like You. Say what you will about the singles from Divide, but he sounded confident and in control on them. Whereas here...
Step in the bar, it hit me so hard. Or how can it be this heavy?
Sorry, Ed does not sound good here. He sounds brittle, frail, shriveled.
I'm pretty sure this song is about his dead friend, right? I'm pretty sure that was the point of the song.
Being possessed.
Am I crazy, or was this song about his dead friend? I'm
By
pretty
the
sure it
ghost of
was.
a dying old lady. I can practically
Am I
hear
crazy?
the knitting needles in his hands as he enunciates. I wrote most of this entry thinking that this was a sad, flaccid breakup song. And I mean, it's not that. The lyrics are so nondescript, they certainly work as that if that's how you choose to take them. Upon researching, I did find that there was another layer to how this song came about, but frankly, that other layer kinda just makes things worse. This whole album is very personal to Ed, but Eyes Closed in particular was meant as a tribute to a very close friend of Ed's, hip-hop entrepreneur Jamal Edwards, who passed away in late 2022. This loss came in the midst of several other tragedies in Ed's personal life, and it clearly shook him to his core, as you can tell by his devastating freestyle rap F64.
Before Lyra, I just stopped. I haven't even wanted one. I can't get over this. Is fuck, man. I wish I'd known.
Yeah, go ahead and listen to that full thing if you want to have your heart torn apart. That's the kind of thing I would have expected from a song that addresses the loss, and that being the album's lead single should have been a captivating moment that really set the tone for the project. But instead, Ed took a demo he had been working on with Max Martin since 2018, a love song about how hard it is to move on after a breakup, and pounded it with a hammer until it fit into the mold of what he needed for a lead single. A song that makes vague mention of losing a loved one, but in a way so nebulous that it works as a breakup song, or really any kind of vague marketable sadness.
Time is moving so slow, and I don't know what else that I can do.
That, more than anything, is why this sounds so profoundly empty to me. Sheeran's voice is being weakened by his genuine pain, but that pain doesn't feel authentic because it's being filtered through a bouncy Max Martin breakup song. These two halves are not congruent with each other, and they cancel each other out, turning what should be a heart-rending tribute to a lost loved one into forgettable radio filler on the level of Ghost by Justin Bieber.
I can see
Wherever
that.
We will go by The Calling. Just to be clear, I don't think Sheeran or Aaron Dessner or Max Martin were morally in the wrong for doing this. It is no place of mine to judge how a man chooses to pay tribute to his lost friend. I'm just here to critique art, and when I hear Eyes Closed by Ed Sheeran, all I can hear are the ingredients for something beautiful being squandered at the altar of the pop machine. Sacrificed so that this downbeat, melancholic folk album would definitely have at least one big crossover hit, and creating a turgid, watered-down mess in the process. Ed, please take a break. I need it, but more than that, I think you need it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I keep dancing with my...
I gotta listen to that song again.
Hey, Bobby.
In full.
Hey, why so stressed? Could it be those irrepressible thoughts of death?
Sean, this was not this year. What are you doing?
Over the past decade, it has become somewhat gauche to complain about the death of rock and roll. I mean, after all, there's still plenty of awesome rock being made if you know where to look for it, and the whole rockism argument where rock is the only thing that real music should aspire to be, it's got a lot of really gross and narrow-minded connotations to it, to the point where everyone who whines about the decline of rock these days is generally given nothing more than a dismissive eye roll. Honestly, though, there is a part of me that does get it. Things have changed. Rock and roll isn't the center of the world that all music revolves around anymore, and while there have been a lot of benefits to that, it's also perfectly reasonable to acknowledge that rock and roll is fucking awesome. A lot of aspects unique to its imperial era were dope as hell, and to lament that something really cool was lost over the course of natural evolution away from it. It's hard to pinpoint the exact moment that rock and roll quote-unquote died, but if you ask me, the final swan song for the era of rock is, and will always be, Use Somebody by Kings of Leon.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see.
Hell fucking yes. Not only is this an awesome song in its own right, but there's a real sense of grandeur and finality about it. From the huge arena-rattling sound of its infinitely layered guitars to its iconic Bruce Springsteen wails in the chorus, it was just a very special song that seemed to roll all the wonderful excesses of rock and roll into one single beautiful moment.
Someone like you.
In 2023, someone ripped off this song directly. They made it sound like this. music, man.
If tomorrow
Oh no. 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 I thought everyone forgot about this song. No. Oh my goodness. I thought everyone forgot about this song. No. Why? Sean, you're killing me. Ugh. This song goes fucking hard, bro. No. Oh, fuck. I thought you could slip past them. Stand by me. Why couldn't you just walk away? Why couldn't you just have everyone forget about you? Oh, fuck. No. No. I don't know, some of you viewers of my channel, some of you may know, I am a D1 defender of this song. This song goes fucking hard. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell. If tomorrow I lost it all, hey, and everything that I had was gone. All right, look, man. All right, look. I know it's a locked away ripoff, okay? If I got locked away. Now remember that song? That was a good song. I know this song is basically a ripoff. I think it's better. I think this song is great. Fuck all the haters. I thought everyone forgot about this song, bro. What? Wait, how did we go from that segment to this song? What? I'm actually confused.
The genre that replaced rock as the default genre of American pop music was hip-hop. Out of all the current megastars of the new biggest genre on earth, Lil Durk is easily one of the most successful. And man, I don't know if I've ever seen a rapper get as big as he is while clearly having absolutely no idea of what he's trying to accomplish. Durk sprang up in the wake of Pop Smoke as the torchbearer who was going to turn drill music into a universal force, but it quickly became clear that evolving from a regional legend into an A-list chart topper had completely torn his brain apart. He spent the last 3 years shoveling out project after project, swerving back and forth between appealing to his core drill fans and his new pop audience, and only seeming to spread himself thinner and thinner with each move. Durk can't make a single pop-focused move without desperately signaling to his drill fans that don't worry, he's not abandoning them, and vice versa. It's a balancing act that he is not succeeding in, not the least of which because he decided that one of his main sources of pop income was to be the enabler of Morgan Wallen's trap addiction.
Would you stand by me? Would you stand by me?
Stop making songs with Lil Durk. After Durk was
I would love to hear their song in concert, bro. Oh my goodness.
He's basically Wallen's
I'm sorry.
sobriety chip at this point. That's a joke, to be clear. The two of them do seem to genuinely respect each other and like working together, but good lord do they bring out the worst in each other. Their last collaboration was a really douchey little pill of...
I can say this, Broadway Girls, that was mid. That song was just mid. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Watered down as I had never heard him.
Mid.
To hit it even bigger, they just make a song about absolutely nothing while taking those exact same.
Whoa! It's not about nothing.
Producer and noted sexual predator, Dr.
It was made by. Alright, wait, hold on. Whoa, wait, hold on, wait. It was made by Dr. Luke.
The But to hit it even bigger, they just make a song about absolutely nothing while taking those exact same vocals and running them through the filter of world-renowned super producer and noted sexual predator, Dr. Luke.
I don't care. I'm still listening to the song. Fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all. This song is fucking hard. I don't care. I don't care. This song is fucking hard.
The Dr. Luke rant for now. You know, the fact he's still working after what he did to Kesha is reprehensible. Yada yada. I've said it all.
Look.
Before, but I'm sorry. Here's my
fuck Dr. Luke. I'm still listening to this.
Question right now. Didn't Dr. Luke used to be good at making music? Isn't this the acclaimed protege of Max Martin who made Since You've Been Gone, You in Your Hand, Die Young, Teenage Dream, Dynamite, TGIF, all these classics of iTunes era pop music? How did we get to the point where whenever he's not just being Gen Z Puff Daddy and pumping out lazy sample beats faster than they can enter his mind, he's making this, which just takes Broadway girls and smears it with Vaseline, creating this puddle of formless audio sludge.
For me, no side of me. Yeah.
I mean, for God's sake,
You
I
know,
literally cannot
baby,
even
don't
tell
lie to
whose
me.
voice that's supposed to be. This isn't country, nor is it drill. It's content. That is its genre. Its genre is content. It's the audio equivalent of laying in bed at 4 p.m. watching an episode of The Office you've seen so many times that you know it by heart. Its sole purpose is to just numb your brain by pickling it in the juice of turgid familiarity. And as for the lyrics,
I lose it all, you stand with me. Amsterdam, I skip the red district.
congratulations, man. You skipped the prostitution district for your girlfriend. How romantic of you. You got anything to add, Wallen?
When the world tries to keep me down,
And there's nobody else. Yeah.
keep it real, can you tell me now?
Would you stand by me? Would you stand by me?
Okay, I'm just gonna translate this for you guys. Baby, if I get caught saying the N-word again, will you continue to suck my rod regardless? Oh, honey, of course I will. Wait, what do you mean, cause?
You ain't tryna be that, then be gone. If tomorrow
Look, man.
Stand By Me, a song by an abusive scumbag, a vocally active gang member, and a white guy banned for yelling slurs that doesn't have a single interest in
bro.
I'm almost ashamed to admit that I'm disappointed. At least Chris Brown's music makes me feel things.
No. Oh. See, Sean, now you're making it hard to defend the song now. See, what do I say after that? I don't care. I'm still listening to this song. Fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all. Fuck all y'all. Fuck it. Yellow.
That we've officially reached the halfway point. Of
Yellow.
Doing the dishonorable
Yellow.
mentions all in part 2 of this video.
I'm idea.
So
Just a
now,
part 2.
before we get to our final piece of unfinished business. I'd just like to quickly remind you guys that because I use copyrighted music in these videos, I've not made a single dime from YouTube. In the
4 quarters.
decade I've been doing this.
4
And
quarters.
So I am 100% dependent on my supporters on Patreon to make any sort of income
4 quarters.
for the vast amount of time and effort that goes into making these videos. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, even a small pledge on Patreon would be immeasurably helpful. Pledges start at just $1, literally just 4 quarters.
4 quarters.
Every time I upload. And aside from supporting me, you'll get tons of rewards for your pledges, such as voting
Ooh,
for what
got
I talk
fat
about next,
titties.
access to a community of awesome
Oh, I got
people
school
like
tomorrow. Oh my God, wait.
early access to my
I just realized I have school tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Oh.
before they premiere, and direct contribution to my videos through my grab bag review series, my fan rankings, and several other
I
projects
just go tomorrow.
Thank you so much for your support. And now, let's wrap this up.
I've been selling my soul, working all day.
I have school tomorrow. Oh my God. Whatever. Who cares?
Bullshit pay.
Ever since the song came out, I have been bombarded by people saying that rich men north of Richmond and Try That in a Small Town were basically two halves of the same coin, representing everything wrong with country music. If you go to the Wikipedia page for Try That in a Small Town, the only link in the See Also section is to the page for rich men north of Richmond. Clearly, this song has been magnetically drawn to the parts of people's brains where they store all their worst stereotypes about country music and the people who make it. And frankly, it is not difficult to see why. This was the third country song in a row to hit #1 on the Hot 100 in 2023, after the first two were
We let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything.
Mob anthem. Oliver Anthony was the first.
so hard
to
liking
debut
Morgan
at
Wallen's
number
music,
one
bro.
on the Hot 100 after never charting any song on any.
I'm
chart
sorry,
chart.
guys.
And that was mostly due to heavy promotion and endorsements from far-right shitbags on the Daily Wire, turning it into a conservative viral sensation. I mean, come on, do you really think it debuted at number one because there was just that big a market for Jeffrey Epstein dad jokes?
Wish politicians look out for minors, not just minors.
Miners on an island somewhere.
Yeah, no, of course conservatives took like this to a fish to water. It's a white guy with an asinine beard in the middle of the woods yelling over a spare guitar about how the evil government is suppressing the good, decent working men like coal miners and factory workers. I completely understand why conservatives latched onto this, and why so many average onlookers took a quick look and just noped right out of the whole thing.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit disturbed by all the passionate music fans I've seen who have tried to passionately argue that this song is just as bad, if not worse, than the Aldean one. I'm just gonna say it. If you think that this song is anywhere near as bad as Try That in a Small Town, I think that that's a very ignorant opinion that lacks a lot of nuance and context.
This is true. This is true. I said earlier, this song is worse than Try That in a Small Town, and I still stand by that statement. As a song, this song sounds like shit. Like I don't know what else to tell you. This song is dookie water, okay? At least Try That in a Small Town, it has like some sort of professional care, I guess. This is just a guy. Oh, Joe, looking Joe. I'm not trying to listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what song would I rather listen to while I'm just randomly like walking in like a fucking Kohl's or something? Does Kohl's play music? I don't know. But if they were playing this song, I'd be like, why are they playing this funky dunky country ass musty? Oh, what the else got? Like, why would I ever want to listen to that? Try That in a Small Town. If you're not really listening to the lyrics, you're just hearing the try that like that, like that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I do agree with Sean. I'm not disagreeing with Sean. Like, as a spectacle, not a song, this Richmond, north of Richmond, is not as bad as Try That in a Small Town. As a spectacle. As a song, in my eyes, I'd rather listen to Try That in a Small Town.
Oliver Anthony is not a far-right grifter, and he is not trying to pander to the far-right for money. I mean, for one, he literally told the conservatives trying to claim him that they could fuck right off, but honestly, even before he did that, I knew this guy wasn't some far-right nutjob. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Oliver Anthony is the actual, literal voice of the average American. This is not a guy trying to spread division. This is a regular guy who is in pain and uses music as an outlet to express that pain. Jason Aldean made his song because he knows that stoking the fires of hate is a great way to make a lot of money really quickly. Oliver Anthony made his song because American workers are being exploited and it makes him fucking livid.
Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is.
Oh, it is.
Oliver Anthony is a working class man who has been through the system. He worked in industrial jobs for the past decade and was in an industrial accident that fractured his skull and left him unable to work. This is a man who tried to follow the American dream only to be betrayed and let down by his country, and he knows many others just like him. In fact, you want to know which #1 hit jumped into my head when I first heard Rich Men North of Richmond? Because it wasn't Jason Aldean.
I just searched up Kohl's. Is that even a real store?
This is
Kohl's?
Destruction, a song from 1965 where some scraggly-looking white guy no one had ever heard of hit #1 on the charts with a desperate, impassioned growl about the never-ending cavalcade of bullshit that American citizens at the time were facing. From the Vietnam draft to violence over civil rights to war and conflict in every corner of the world and the useless government who either did nothing or made the problems worse.
Handful of senators don't pass legislation and marches alone.
Even his voice is almost as bad as Oliver Anthony music.
Frustration of being a young person at that time. Just like Oliver Anthony truly American trying to get by right now.
Cause your dollar ain't shit.
Like, bro, I'm not trying to hear this nigga scream. Like,
the average American can't afford basic necessities right now, even if they're being forced to work themselves to the bone, and we're all fucking sick of it. This is a song that deserves
4 quarters.
A song that deserved to hit #1, which just makes it all the more painful that he fucking blew it.
Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare.
Yep, You knew it was coming.
But if you're 5'3" and you're
300 pounds. Not to pay. Pounds.
Okay, let's get this out of the way first because it hardly matters. Did Little Debbie spill grape juice on a music executive's new suit or something? Is that why pop music over the past couple years has been dead set on ruining fudge rounds?
Oh, bounce to the out, pick it up, put it down. Wanna put his nutty buddy in my fudge rounds.
Very funny. Okay, yeah, but seriously, this is one of the worst writing decisions that anyone has ever made in the history of pop music. Ever.
Damn.
whole beast,
Milk and welfare.
Oh yeah, I hate those rich New England yacht club guys always putting junk food on their EBT card. I'm sorry, is this song called Rich Men North of Richmond and also Fat Freddy South of the cul-de-sac? You specifically made a song devoted to how the rich people in power are screwing all the rest of us over, and you devoted most of the second verse to making fun of poor people who end up getting fat because they use their welfare dimes to buy the cheapest available grocery options. It is completely understandable to get fucking infuriated that welfare often pays more than minimum wage jobs, but to say that's a problem with welfare being too high and not minimum wage stagnating due to lobbying from wealthy CEOs on a song specifically written and titled as an attack on rich men? Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds.
The reason people make fun of the fudge rounds bit isn't just that it's a cringy line or a forced awkward rhyme. People shit on this line and this song for the fence-sitting idea that, oh, we should help poor people, but, you know, not all of them. Letting his complex, balanced opinion on welfare take up the entire second verse of a song that's supposed to be about the billionaire elite working the population to death and burning down the planet kinda suggests that he views these two things as remotely equal problems.
What was that?
Similar implications.
That guy was like melting.
Opportunity to bring everyone together here, but he blew it by being pointlessly divisive.
Right.
Quite frankly, once you stop making this a battle of rich versus poor and turn it into a battle of people like us versus people like them, well,
Living in the new world with an whole soul.
the soul of the world is changing, there are shadowy groups trying to control what we think, and it's a damn shame what the world has come to for people like us.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you.
On Oliver Anthony's YouTube channel, he has a playlist which he's still continuously updating called Videos That Make Your Noggin Bigger. After performing CPR to bring my soul back to life after it shriveled up from reading that title, I scrolled through it a bit, and look at that, we've got some Joe Rogan, a bit of Fox News, a bunch of weird pseudoscience shit about supplements. Oh, check it out, This Is How You Become Authentic by Jordan Peterson, that explains a lot. And oh, look at that, some sermons from Billy Graham, the famously anti-Semitic mega-reverend. Right next to the multiple 9/11 conspiracy videos, wondering whether Israel may have known about the attacks before they happened, whose comment sections are filled with people celebrating that their anti-Semitism is being validated. Yeah.
Lord knows they all just wanna have
Ah, oh.
know what you think, know what you do, and then everything
Alright.
but I know that
Damn.
you do.
Look, earlier in the video, I said that Oliver Anthony represented the voice of the average American.
No, my
The more I find
cough
out about
drops.
this guy, the more I'm realizing that, as fucked up as that may be, I think that's the truth. I think that Oliver Anthony is a guy who got chewed up and spit out by the jaws of late-stage capitalism and is just pissed at the world and looking for answers as to how the world got so fucked up. The answers the guy has considered so far might be a sarlacc pit of yikes, but the fact that he's said multiple times that he believes diversity is America's greatest strength,
What?
despite how easy and profitable it would have been to play to his new right-wing audience, that tells me that he's not parroting racist welfare stereotypes because he hates minorities, nor is he spreading anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
He's just dumb.
On a different day, I might be able to convert a good chunk of time to how horrifying it is that anti-Semitism has seen a big enough resurgence to be a go-to explanation that millions of so-called truth seekers get naturally railroaded towards. But that is a stab that I do not have time for, nor am I qualified to peel back. My point for the moment is that Oliver Anthony seems to me like a guy who doesn't want to hurt anyone, who really does think he's just having an honest discourse and just asking questions.
Right.
I don't know the guy personally, I could be wrong about any of this, but it seems to me that the man is spreading harmful rhetoric, but he's doing it out of ignorance, not malice. And that, more than anything, is why I believe that this is one of the worst songs of 2023.
I've been selling my soul working all day.
I think Oliver Anthony truly thought that he was making an anthem that would unite all disenfranchised Americans against the wealthy 1% taking advantage of us. And frankly, I believe that that's how millions of this song's listeners took it. However, the fact that the average American searching for answers leads him to a place where he blames welfare queens and puts together a playlist of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories is...
Yeah.
When Destruction went to number 1 in 1965, it was lambasted by critics and moral guardians as anti-American for daring to speak out against the government. It was an anthem for the counterculture, and it represented a groundswell of civil liberty that would ultimately push the country into a much better direction in the following decades. And now, in 2023, our countercultural number 1 hit is a man who cries out in pain over the collective abuse by the rich, but whose brain has been so poisoned by the internet's ambient QAnon vibes that he only ends up turning his pain into yet another political wedge even when he's specifically trying not to. The man made a genuine attempt to speak to the pain of everyone and wound up with an audience that got mad and abandoned him as soon as he clarified that he hated racism. And the saddest part is, how many Oliver Anthonys are out there? How many people have no hatred in their hearts and genuinely just want peace and prosperity for themselves and their neighbors, but end up unwittingly supporting and empowering the most loathsome people in the world? How many people would gladly be friends with someone in a minority group if they met them face to face, only to lambaste that minority as a whole because a bunch of profit-seeking grifters succeeded in rolling that minority into the same category of others that includes the 1%?
Alright, whoa. Too many big words. What's happening?
Damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame.
Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony is a bad song. It's not a terrible song. It succeeds in certain parts of what it sets out to do and does so in a powerful and moving way. However, a good deal of its message ended up corrupted.
Right.
And that's because it failed to avoid the traps that the real Rich Men North of Richmond set up for people like me and people like you. And what hurts me the most about all of this is that out of all the crazy shit that happened in 2023's pop music that I know will lead nowhere, I know that this is the song that will have a legacy. This is the moment the silent majority spoke up. A man no one heard of debuted at number 1 out of nowhere with a song that sounded like Brother Can You Spare a Dime. This was an insane moment that will never happen again, where we plucked the average American out of the woods and gave him the biggest platform that we could. This was a guy who managed to cut through all the algorithms and fake social media filters so much popular art is forced to go through. He had the nation's eyes on him. This was the chance for our generation to use our art to make a direct statement. And this was the statement that we made. Rich Man North of Richmond will go down in history as the most successful populist anthem of our generation. And its main legacy will be trying to carve out which parts of the 99% count as populist and which ones don't. How very American.
I've been selling my soul, working all day.
Doggy.
Overtime hours for
Bullshit, babe. Bullshit, babe. Part 2 coming out in 2025. No, I'm kidding. Not really. Damn. Guys, shout out to my Patreon supporters on the screen right now. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Got Brock Anston. Crow. Is that Cock Coffee? Or am I crazy? Fappy? Or Puppy? Jai Jackson. Justin Thompson. Lemon Riley. I'm not even. Oh, Lux, one of the girls. Oh, Lizette. I know who that is. Gosh, should I give Sean Fay-Wolfe 4 quarters? Should we just give Sean Fay-Wolfe 4 quarters, bro? Obtuse Angle. Oh shit. Rowan, wait. Samuel Heavener? Smooth 22. Ted Z. Tiny Bubbles. 999. Ultranatic. Oh, and that's it. Oh, man. Oh, no, there's more up here. Oh, my God, they're going too fast. Oh, never mind. Alright, that's it. God damn. Oh my God, I just swallowed the fucking cough drop hole. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so disgusting. I just swallowed the entire cough drop. Anyway, Jesus fuck. Good video, man. Hope part 2 comes out soon. Hopefully. Sean's not very reliable, but you know what? He's usually always having a tough time in his life. This guy's like super unlucky, so you know, we gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. Sean the GOAT, obviously telling us, try that in a small town as number 1. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of people have that as their number 1. Makes sense. Stand By Me. I'm still standing by that song. Fuck all you haters. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's it. Taylor Swift is mid. Go subscribe to Diamond Axe Studios. Go like the video in the description below. Like the video, the original video that is in the description. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter. Did I say that already? Twitter, X. Follow him on X. 4 quarters. 4 fucking quarters. Just 4 quarters, guys. Come on. 4. Look what I have right here. Just 4 of this. Little 4 things of this. That's all you need to join the Sean Fay-Wolfe gang. Personally, I can't afford that. I'm a little too poor. But I know all my viewers are rich. So all of you go down there. 4 quarters. Go down there. Go to his Patreon. Go support him. Yeah, that's it. All right. See ya.